All right, guys, welcome back once again. I'm Olalekan Efficient, the author, Trump's Not Done with Washington, The Return of MAGA Riders, and also a contributor to drrichswear.com. You can go to read my opinions, my commentary on the Dr. Rich Swear, drrichswear.com, www.drrichswear.com. Dr. Rich Swear, it's a respected veteran of the United States Army. He based in Sarasota in Florida. Fantastic mentor. Someone I considered as my mentor. You can go there and reach, my some of my opinions and columns about airplanes and things that is happening in the United States. I just want to lay my voice on the recent visit of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. How the reception was so spectacular. It was one of the greatest things to see. We saw where President Trump organized a welcome ceremony for for Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. You could say that I can say that since the coming back of President Trump's second term, the Crown Prince is the first foreign leader in Washington that the president will organize a welcome ceremony for. It is astonishing, it is fantastic, it is a good thing to behold. And what does that have to tell you? It tells you how things can move very fast. Like in 4 years ago, where United States, under President Joe Biden, had a very, very rocky and strained relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we saw the impact, in the U.S. economy, because they are, making Saudi Arabia in terms of oil, supplying oil. Saudi Arabia, I think, one of the countries that has a high number of oil in terms of export of oil. I'll talk about Saudi Arabia, talk about Russia, talk about Kuwait, and some other, Iran and some other countries. But you know that there is an embargo sanction on Iran oil as we speak now. But Saudi Arabia is in an open market, so they have it and they are making a lot of money with it. So alliances between America and the United States is very important and very strategic, and this is one thing that President Trump really understands and is exploiting it to the fullest. Number one thing is that that Iran and Saudi Arabia, and it has a lot of proxies that are not in good terms with Saudi Arabia. You talk about the Houthis, who are the neighbors of not very far away to Saudi Arabia, in Yemen. They've been there, they are more or less like an headache to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You talk about the Hezbollah in Lebanon. Of course, we know about the Hamas in Gaza. So you know that, and at this particular point, when Saudi Arabia is trying to move away from the non-oil revenue, if you look at what is going on in Riyadh, you discover that Saudi Arabia is trying to move away from the oil revenue. They are trying to invest in technology. They are investing in AI, artificial intelligence. They are investing in fashions, tourism and the like. So they are trying to exploit most of these things. So they are trying to move away from the conservative Islamic activities that we know them to. They've been very liberal this time around, and the Crown Prince has been putting in place, has been adding a lot of things to make sure that to appeal to the young folks in Saudi Arabia, bringing in investors, invest in it. You could see what is going on within the soccer business in Saudi Arabia, with attracting a lot of big stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, and some other top class footballer to come and play in Saudi League. This is just a way of just trying to open up the Saudi Arabia economy, that's go beyond oil. And you know that with what is happening in Middle East, I'm trying to explain why it is important that President Trump will continue to see Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, and Saudi Arabia as one of the greatest ally. You know that in first term of President Trump did a lot of historical things for Israel, by moving the Jerusalem from Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, after so many presidents has promised to relocate, move to support that agenda. But it was during the President Trump first time that will materialize. And of course, the position within the Middle East is not everybody that supports that movement due to some other factors, maybe sometimes in the future we're going to talk about. Now, you could recollect during that time, Trump also initiated what we have, the Abraham Accord, where an accord where some Middle East countries, nations within the Middle East is going to come together and recognize the state of Israel. You understand? But immediately Trump left office, Joe Biden came in. There was a restraint in that that relationship, and you could see that as a result of that, there was a serious unrest in the Middle East. We saw what happened October 7th, where Hamas decided to attack Israel, and at that point we saw a situation where Iran graduated, moved with the speed of light by trying to trying to build a nuclear bomb, and stuff like that. Now that President Trump is back, he's trying to make sure he's pick up from where he starts. So Saudi Arabia is a key ally, because whatever agenda, whatever decisions, whatever thing that's going to happen in Middle East, Saudi Arabia is going to play a critical role in that decision making. And considering the fact that this is a nation that has a lot of money, they have a lot of cash to throw around, and President Trump being a business person, it's not about bringing the money, investment. You want to invest, come and invest in America. Unlike President Joe Biden, who also what we see is an opposite, that's giving out donations, grants, releasing money to people that either want it or not. So it's just it's a contract of from two presidents. But like what we say, Saudi Arabia remain a key ally to United States, and you could try to summarize what we want. Saudi Arabia want protections from Iran and its proxies, and also want protections because Saudi Arabia is putting in place a massive investment, and they don't want to be dragged into any war or conflict of any kind. So they want protections, and the only country that is capable of protecting them is United States. So it makes a lot of sense. I'm going to give you protections. You're going to help me to influence most of the decisions that is happening in Middle East, and to make sure that it benefits America and Nigeria. It's a win-win, and it's a good one. And I think it makes Trump a better administrator than Joe Biden. I've seen a lot of people who say that this is Saudi Arabia that was accused, particularly Mohammed bin Salman, that was accused to have orderly hit on a Washington Post journalist who is an engineer of Saudi Arabia, Jamal Khashoggi, event that took place at the Turkish Saudi Arabia embassy in Turkey. Yes, it's a legitimate concerns, and also as a journalist, I'm also concerned, and I think it's something that we want to talk about. At this point, there's some discussion that are made for on camera. There's some things that are made for off camera. It's just like when a country tells you that we don't negotiate with terrorists, and the country that tells you don't negotiate with terrorists, they have confidential informant that is working with them. They have a spies who are working with them, in order to which they gave a free pass to carry out some certain evil things in order to get some bigger things. So it happens like that. So and to the event that happened at the Oval Office, when the ABC News correspondent went straight direct, accusing Mohammed bin Salman that about issue of Jamal Khashoggi. I think it was not professionally done, even though the journalist had the good intentions. He's trying to do his job, but I think it was not delivered the right way. There are better ways that question will have been framed. Of course, you don't expect President Trump to have a guest as important as MBS, with strategic partners, with a lot of investment. Now, Trump is saying that investment will go as high as $1.5 trillion. That is a massive investment in the meeting that any foreign leaders will have taken to United States, and you expect President Trump not to defend his guests at that place. I think my colleagues in the United States should understand the appropriate time, should read the body language in the rooms, and know how to be professional enough to ask the question. All the same, congratulations to President Trump, congratulations to the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, President of to His Eminence, His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, for this historic meetings, events, visit to the United States, in order to make America and to deepen the relationship between the United States of America and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Once again, thank you so much. I'm Oladikon Efficient Oluwashigo, author of Trump Not Done with Washington, The Return of MAGA White House. You can go order for my book on seller.ng. The book is there. You can order for it. And also you can read my column on drrichswe.com, where I lend my voice on topical issues within the United American political space. Till next time I come your way, I want to say thank you so much and God bless you. Bye for now.